All right, this video is for you if you want to get started with MetaTrader 4 Expert Advisors. So when you first get started with MetaTrader 4 EAs, it can be a little confusing when you use the strategy tester, which is the automated EA testing program inside of MetaTrader. So in this video, I'll show you how to set it up, how to use it, and how to get the results. All right, so this is MetaTrader 4, obviously, and when you're first getting started, you want to make sure that the EA is installed in MetaTrader 4. So you do that by going to File and Open Data Folder, and then you go to MQL4, and you go to Experts, and then you take the EA that you downloaded and you drag that into this folder. Then you close it and then restart MetaTrader 4, and the EA will be available. Now this EA could come in two different forms. One is the MQL4 source file, and that's what it looks like. And it can also come in the ex4 file. If you upload either one, it'll work. If you upload the source file, when you restart, MetaTrader will automatically turn it into the ex4 file. And the ex4 file is the executable, or the file that MetaTrader can actually read to do the functions of the EA. All right, so once you have that installed, now it's time to do some testing. So you're going to go to Strategy Tester. That's the icon up there. Just click on that, and you're going to see a bunch of options. So in this example, we're going to use the 20 EMA crossover that I built with the no-code platform. If you want to see that video, the link is in the upper right corner of your screen right now. And I'm just going to use that as an example. So first of all, let's do a very basic test. So I'm going to unclick this here, and you can use all of these settings here. You can change the expert properties by clicking here. You can change the initial deposit. Optimization parameters are available, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but for now, let's just use it as is. So we're going to set everything up like that, and then we're going to make sure that optimization is unchecked because we don't want to do optimization just yet. Then you can set the spread to current, or you can set a fixed spread if you are at a fixed spread broker. And then you can set the time frame. In this case, I'm just going to use the daily chart because that will give us some quick results. You probably won't have to fix the symbol properties. You can just use it as is. However, if you do have some unusual things with the symbol, then you can click on that. We won't use open chart just yet. And if you want to modify the expert, that will open the MQL4 terminal and help you program the source code, but we're not going to do that right now. I just want to show you that as an example. So the first thing you want to do is select the EA that you want to test. So you do that by clicking the drop-down menu here, and we're going to select the 20 EMA crossover. Select the symbol that you want to test on this time frame, and then you're going to select the model. Every tick is probably the best one to use, and then you can use these dates that you have in data. If you want to test a particular time frame, then you would obviously alter these dates to to and from dates, and then that's about it. Then you hit the start button and things will start going. Now initially it seems like it's not doing anything, and this is what I found confusing when I first started using MetaTrader 4 to do this type of automated backtesting. And you would expect the chart to pop up and the trades to be showing and stuff, right? But it doesn't. Instead, what it's going to do is, as you can see here, it's going to start loading the data, and that's what happens when that first green bar goes by. And there you go. Okay, so data's loaded. Now it's going to do the testing, and the best place to see the testing results are on the graph. And you're going to see this in real time as it starts to trade. And this is the best place to see how it's performing in real time. If you use the chart, or if you use the visual testing, then it's going to slow it down tremendously. So this is the fastest way. So as you can see, this EA is just doing, just about break even. Okay, so now it's not doing so well. So that's a good way to watch it. And then when you're done, you can take a look at the results or the graph. The report, and that will show you some basic things about the test. So I'm going to let this run until it's completed, and then I'll show you the report. All right, if you're finding this video useful, a thumbs up on the video is always greatly appreciated. And if you want to get more updates like this with tutorials and tips on how to improve your trading, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to get notifications, and check out my other videos on my channel. All right, so this is the end of the test, and as you can see, it was doing all right for a little while, and then it just tanked. So if you left this to run longer and there was more data, over time, this account would probably blow out. But that's why we test, right? We want to see how these strategies perform. So you can take a look at the report. It gives you all the usual data. You can look at the graph again. And then the results are just the trades that were taken on this strategy. Now, there's nothing on the optimization graph or the optimization results yet because we haven't done any optimizations. So this is also where you can use the open chart button to open a chart to see where the trades actually executed on a chart. So now that this single test is completed, we'll go to open chart, and that will show us all of the trades that were taken. And then if you go over to the results tab, this will show you all of the trades. So you can just scroll through them, and when you double click on one of these trades, it will take you to that trade on the chart. So this is a good way to see if your EA is performing as expected or if it's doing something funky. Let's go back to the settings and let's do this in a couple different ways. So that was the basic way of doing it. So let's do the visual mode. Okay, so why would you use visual mode? Visual mode is really slow, but it also allows you to see how the strategy is actually trading. Sometimes you program something up and it looks good in the code, but then when you actually see what it does on the chart, that's a different story. So let's give that a try. So to do that, all you do is check visual mode, and I would put the speed all the way up to the right, to the fastest you can go, because it is pretty slow otherwise. Then you can skip to a date, and you can select the date here, or you can just start from the beginning of this date here. So when we hit start, then we'll see something a little bit different. We'll see the chart come up, and it'll also load the data. It'll take a little bit longer, and then it'll start trading. All right, so that took about a minute or so to load the data, and now it's trading. As you can see, even on the fastest setting, it's still pretty slow. And you can see the results by going back to the results tab here. The graph tab here. And it'll show you a pretty similar thing, but at least now you can see it on the chart, and that will give you some ideas of how to optimize it, what it might be doing wrong, and how you could improve it. So let's go back to the settings here. And in this case, it's a 20 EMA crossover strategy. So I believe the way I programmed this up was to go long if price is above the 20 EMA. So it's not really a crossover strategy, I guess. But if it's above it, then go long and wait till the trade closes before taking another trade. So let's see how that looks when we put the EMA in there. So if we can just add this in. Moving average. And we'll do a 20 and make that green. Okay, so there you go. So price is above the 20 EMA, and it is taking trades above that point. So it looks like this is working as I intended, but if I wanted to go on with this further, I could keep on doing this and to see if this is actually working or not. But this is going to take forever, so I'm going to stop this right now. And then I will close the chart. Okay, so now let's turn off visual mode because that's going to be a little bit slow on the testing. All right, now let's take a look at optimization. Optimization is not like a fancy AI thing or anything in MetaTrader 4. It's simply an iterative way of testing different settings in your inputs and seeing what works best. So in order to get started with optimization, just click on the optimization box there. And any inputs that are in the AA that are adjustable can be optimized. So when you look at the expert properties, it's going to show these settings. These are the user inputs that you can input into the EA. And for this test, let's just do something simple. So we'll start off at 10, and it's going to step up 10, and it's going to stop at 30. So this can be a little bit confusing because you would think that it would start with the 10 setting first and then do 20 and then 30. So basically you would have 3 tests. But with MetaTrader 4, it's going to actually do the second one. So it's going to do 20 first and then 30. So you only have 2 tests with this optimization. So if you want to test the 10 also, then you can start at 0, do a step by 10, and then stop at the 30 setting. And that's what this is here for. And remember, you can only optimize the user changeable inputs in the EA. So if you take a look at the source code, when you click on the modify expert button, it'll open the source code in the editor, meta editor, as long as you have the source code available. So these variables here are the inputs. These are the ones that you can optimize. If you don't have that, but you do have the source code, then it's pretty easy to go in and create these inputs, and the program will run the same as usual, and then you can optimize those settings. And if you don't know how to do that, then I have a complete guide on how to find a programmer that can help you do this. And it's pretty simple, just a few modifications. And even if you just know some basic MetaTrader 4 programming, you can go in and do this yourself. Okay, so now that you understand that, let's get back to the testing. We're going to close the meta editor, and you're going to click optimization. Let's take a look at the settings again. So when this is checked, that's the variable that's going to be optimized or tested multiple times. And if you click multiple variables or multiple inputs, then MetaTrader 4 is going to test all the combinations. So I wouldn't test too many at one time because it's going to take forever. But just test the ones that you think have the best chance of being optimized or could have the biggest impact. Or just test them one at a time so that you get a feeling for what is working, what's not. And then you could test them together, because if you test them all at once, it's going to take forever. So if you test them individually, then the process will go faster. So let's just test the take profit. So we're going to start at 20 and we're going to go to 30. So that's basically 2 tests, and we'll hit OK. And then make sure that visual mode is unchecked and hit start. And similar thing will happen. The data will load and the test will start. So I'll see you after the test. All right, so that took a while, but I finally got the results. And a few things to notice here. Number one, the graph won't update in real time during the test. That's because it's testing multiple variables at the same time. So you won't be able to see that graph. Same thing with the other graphs. You won't be able to see any information until after the test is finished. And that might make it seem like it's not actually working, but it is working in the background. So the best place to look for the progress of the test is to look at this progress bar here, the green. And once the green goes all the way to the right, then you're good. All right, so let's take a look at the optimization results. And this is the best tab to look at as soon as your optimization tests have finished. So in this case, like I said, we're trying to optimize for the take profit. So in this case, I did a take profit at 20 pips and take profit at 30 pips. And the profit on the 30 pip trade was much greater. Not quite double, but pretty substantial. So that's a clue that maybe, okay, that's a better setting to use with this EA than if I just did the 1-to-1 or 2-to-1. So it'll show you the drawdown in dollars, in percentages, and expected payoff. So that's some really good information that you can use to go forward. You can also look at the optimization graph, which isn't very useful because it's only going to give you the information per test. So this is test number 1, and this was the result in terms of balance. This is test number 2, and then if you did multiple other tests, it'll show you those tests also. And I guess it's a little bit easier to see it in graphical format like this, but I prefer to use the optimization tab because that just gives you the profit right here, and it gives you the drawdown, and those are the things that you're really, or at least I care about. So you can also take a look at the report. Does the report show it? No, because it's multiple tests, so it wouldn't show just one test. And if you do see any information on these tabs, the graph tab or the report tab, that is generally from the last single test that you did, and it's not from the optimization test. All right, so that's everything you need to know about getting started with the MetaTrader 4 strategy tester. Now, a couple more things to keep in mind. Remember that even if it tests out well here, there could be some mistakes. Like somebody told me they tested something and they forgot to put in the right spread. Instead of using a variable spread here, they used 2 pips, and they were testing the pound yen, and obviously the pound yen is going to have a 2 pip spread all the time. So your results can be way better than they would be in normal trading. So you need to test for those things. And even if your EA works out after that and it works out really well, be sure to trade it in a demo account first, because that's the only way that you can see how it's going to work in live market conditions. And there might be something that you're missing, or there might be a little bug in the EA that will cause you to lose a lot of money. So you should always, always, always test your EA in a demo account before you ever risk real money with it. And even then, test it for a few months to be sure that it's working correctly. All right, here's the next video for you.